Welcome to Or Something Like That,
the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties.
We're your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Be sure to follow us on social and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you love us, give us that 5-star review.
One, two, three, four.
Hello, besties. Welcome back
to a very special episode.
This is going to be a fun one.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm excited / nervous.
Yeah. So this episode, we are going to do Hollis's Hinge dating app profile.
Getting out there, people. Yeah, I've been dating a little bit, but not seriously. I've never had problems just meeting people in the wild, though.
Right.
And I always have kind of gone through life just like, oh, yeah, I'll just meet the person.
Right.
Fluidly.
Yeah.
And
as most of us do, I
right,
think. Especially our age.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But, I'm 37 and I've never been on the apps before. So I feel like I want a relationship. If that's what I want, I have to put in a little bit more effort and put myself out there, which I feel like I have to take advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely.
The apps. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like some of the newer ones like Hinge and especially Tinder, when I first got on the apps, there weren't those. So I feel like it was basically just like Match.com.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? eHarmony.
Oh, yeah.
And Match.com, definitely you fill out a profile. eHarmony was definitely more like a big questionnaire, and I feel like it was more geared towards like, oh, we're going to find your compatible match based on this questionnaire and all these things you're filling out. And I do think it helps to have, you should have your best friend or your mom probably do it for you, because we don't always see ourselves the way we really are.
Well, that's the thing is I have attempted to get on the apps before.
Yeah.
A couple times. And I have gotten to the part where you have to answer all the questions about yourself. And I've just freaked out, and everything I've written, I'm just like, no, this is disgusting. This sounds so, anything I wrote, I was just like, this sounds so cringy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer these questions. So
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
Yeah.
You're going to help me.
It's definitely, I feel like, something you should do with your best friend too, just for fun.
It feels a little pathetic that I can't just do it myself, but I feel like the outcome will be better.
Absolutely.
If you help me. So.
Yeah, for sure. And so we're going to talk a little bit about just kind of what Hollis is looking for in a relationship and some of her non-negotiables. And then I'll talk a little bit about my Match.com experience. It's actually how I met my husband.
Yeah, successful.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is there used to be a day and age where dating apps were still weird. A little, taboo. But now, I mean, the success rate is great. Yeah. I know many people who are in happy, committed relationships, and they met them online. So
yeah, and I definitely think there's a particular way to go about it. I think there's a difference too between dating somebody, quote unquote, online, and then using a dating app to meet somebody. Because there are definitely people who have
just finding a day on Craigslist.
Yeah, that are all online and all the catfishing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No,
that's
totally a different story.
Yeah. But I do think if you're not careful, you can get into a situation like that on a dating app.
For sure.
So especially with the more kind of Match.com type apps. So yeah, I also thought, I just looked this up because I thought it was interesting. So Match.com was the first official dating app. There was, in the 60s, actually, were the first computerized dating services, which I thought was kind of interesting. So there was one called the St. James computerized dating service was the very first one. A woman out of the UK actually developed it. And then there were a couple of guys at Harvard the next year. Of course, they just stole the woman's idea. And then naturally, they became the more well-known one. But it was called Operation Match. And yeah, it was basically people just filled out, I think he said it was a 90 questionnaire and turned them in, and then they used the computer to, find compatible matches between the questionnaires, and then they gave people the names and phone numbers. It was funny because they showed the two Harvard guys in the computer room, and that's at the time when a computer took up an entire room. That's how big the machine was, and they're in there putting their data in and getting their print offs and stuff. But yeah, so Match.com was the first like modern dating app as we know it. Came out in 1995.
Oh, I don't remember it being that early.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways. Yeah, so I'm excited, nervous excited.
Yeah.
But it'll be good.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're looking for in a partner, like non-negotiables, anything that you consider an absolute red flag, like that kind of thing.
So I'm definitely looking for like long-term relationship.
Yeah.
I've never looked at life as like there's only one true love. Like I don't think just because a relationship ends that it's a failure, but I am looking for someone who wants to date long-term, build a life together. I would like to get married, or if it's not marriage, I do want to live with somebody. So I am looking for like commitment.
Right.
Outside of that, I guess like traits, they have to live here. I'm not doing long distance ever again. So obviously that is a deal breaker.
Right.
Definitely employed, needs to have a job. Age range, I'm not dating anyone younger than 35. I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
And I don't honestly have an older age range much.
Right, like a cap.
Yeah, but I will not date someone younger than 35. I feel like is where I've capped that off on the lower terms. I'm attracted to older men, honestly.
Yeah.
I need someone who's like more established in who they are. Age isn't always the factor that determines that, but oftentimes it does. So
oh yes, believe me, there are 50-year-old babies.
Yeah. But other than that, I just really want somebody who is funny is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I really need somebody, if we can laugh and have fun together, I feel like is very important. I also want somebody who is active and energetic, and I don't mean like physically, but just I would like to meet someone who wants to go out and have fun and do things, and it is a little bit adventurous. And I don't need them to like be a hang glider, but it's like willing to like go new places and see new things. And
I'm not riding the Ferris wheel, but I want to do some stuff.
Or just like wants to go out and enjoy life together,
right?
And travel and go see places, and I mean, that sounds like not very high bar, but
what about like previously married, children, that kind of thing? Because you're in that age range.
Well, I've thought a lot about this, and it is true. I mean, it's asking a lot to expect that I'm going to meet somebody my age who hasn't been married or have kids. I mean, I'm almost 40. I'm 37. So,
but when you're
previously married,
picking up your age bracket, too,
right? Yeah. Oh, of course. Previously married.
Not an issue.
Yeah. Kids, I would be willing to
explore.
Yes. I mean, obviously, ideally, there would be no children, but I'm open.
Yeah.
If the person is right and the situation is right. So, yeah, deal breakers, honestly.
Yeah. What are non-negotiables?
Non-negotiables, obviously, doesn't live here. Unemployed. If you're a parent but you're like not involved in your kids' lives, that would kind of be a red flag for me. If you're rude to waiters and service people, but honestly, deal breakers, I don't have that many.
You don't have that many, yeah.
Because I feel like
is there like a number of children?
Oh, I mean, if you have a gaggle, like no, I don't know if I could do.
Right.
I mean, 3 tops. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like I don't want to be like have hard stops.
No,
too much,
I hear you.
Because I want to get to know an individual, and I'm a complicated, flawed person too. So
right.
I don't want people to rule me out based on things that are just a part of who I am. But yeah, I mean, honestly, doesn't live here would be the hardest thing.
Right. Is there any like, what about a career that travels a lot?
I'm cool with that.
Fine with that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you were gone like every weekend, a different schedule than me.
Right.
Someone who works in hospitality, I don't know if I could do it.
Right.
Just because.
Or like a third shift type of situation.
You might as well live somewhere else. If we don't have generally the same schedule, we don't have the same time to spend together.
Yeah, that makes it
kind of
tough.
like, what's the point? If you travel, I think that's great. You know, I'm okay with that. Like, I like my alone time. I need my independence too. So that could kind of give us a little opportunity to maybe not be up each other's asses so much. But, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the amount. Like, are you gone 3 weeks at a time? That might be an issue. But no, right off the bat, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
That's not a deal breaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, should we get into it?
Yeah, because you met your husband.
Yes. So I met my husband on Match.com. This was, about 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it was my first experience on the dating apps. I had been in a few serious relationships. Nothing panned out. I, at this point, was in my late 20s. I think I was 26 or 27. So mid-late 20s the first time I got on Match.com. And I will say, I do think, especially Match.com, and we'll see when we get into the setting up the profile on Hinge. I don't know how much different Hinge is going to be than how Match operated. But the way Match operated was it would send you matches every day. And then you basically could, it wasn't a swiping thing like a lot of them are now. You just could like them essentially, or like give them a thumbs up,
like,
or
I'm interested.
Basically it's like I'm interested, and then you could see who all did the same for you, I believe. And then you just messaged each other. And I talked about this a little bit with other people who were on the apps at the time, which I honestly didn't know that many. There were a few people that I was friends with that were also in the app game. And it's a very different experience, I think, for women.
Yeah.
I mean, I was getting 15 to 25 messages a day. Whereas, like, the couple of guys that I talked to that were on it were like, what? What do you mean? So I just think in at least that particular app, the men are just the, I don't want to say aggressors, but you know what I mean.
Well,
like, they're the pursuers.
What the numbers are. Like, how many women versus
men
are on the app.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it got kind of overwhelming in terms of, like, sifting through all the messages. And
oh, you know what's a deal breaker for me? If your opening line is, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
No, we're done with you.
No, not hey there. It. Hey. That's it?
Sup?
Sup? Absolutely fucking not.
Yo.
No. Like, put in some kind of effort, and, like, if you're shy, I get it, but, like, ChatGPT is something. I will not respond to hey.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I would get anywhere from 15 to 25 messages a day, and you have to kind of sift through the messages and say, okay. And I'll be honest, I didn't even really send that many messages because I was spending all of my time just like managing the ones that were coming in.
Like a full-time job.
It was basically a full-time job. So you sift through the messages. If you see one you like, you respond. And for me personally, I didn't want to just be like messaging in the app for like weeks. And there were some guys that would do that were like that. And I could usually tell pretty quickly, like, I'm not interested in that. I'm using this to meet people. I don't want to like talk to somebody in an app for a few days, get the wrong idea about them or get some kind of perception of them. And then you meet them and you're like, what?
Well, see, I'm very curious about that, like the different perspectives, because a friend of mine who was actually getting married to a person she met online, she had the opposite take, because she was like, I don't meet these people right off the bat. Like, I want to talk for a while. Yeah. And I don't know, which
that's not for me.
Respect.
Everybody's different. You know, yeah.
And I get it, because she's had some like situations where she's like, no, I'm not going to meet just any guy.
Right.
And I understand that, but yeah, I kind of feel the same, where it's like, I gotta meet you to really understand who you are. And I feel like things can be misconstrued in messages so easily.
Absolutely. And I feel like you gotta know, at least for me personally, like if that kind of instant attraction is there, and you might think you have like a connection or a chemistry with somebody when you're messaging, and then you meet them and it's like, oh no.
I know, and then I spent all this time talking.
Exactly. I just feel like it gets too weird and too involved too quickly when you're just messaging, and I for me, I just wasn't interested in that.
I'm not a great messenger either.
Right.
You know, I feel like it would be hard for me too to like come up with enough cute, creative things to say and like keep the conversation flowing in a way that's not just like,
okay,
so horrible.
Yeah. So I usually told myself I did a maximum of like 3 or 4 days of messaging, whether that was all in succession or maybe you send a few messages one day and then a couple days go by and you don't talk and then you send a couple messages. I would do like a few back and forths, and if I got a good vibe from it, then and either I would or oftentimes the guy would too just suggest a date or a meetup pretty quickly.
Yeah.
My biggest advice for that is always just meet for drinks or coffee.
Like never
commit to a dinner date.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is if you meet the guy and you hit it off and you click, then you can move into like you can have a drink, have a coffee, and like, hey, let's go grab lunch or let's grab dinner. Like if you're both into it, give yourself an out. And if you're both into it, you're both going to be trying to extend the date anyway, you know? And yeah, I never had any scary moments. I definitely had some guys that I was like, okay, you're kind of a weirdo. And that's why I always did that. And you get an idea. And if you're not into it, it's just, oh, hey, thanks. It was great to meet you. Like, you know, and then you just bail. And honestly, what's nice about dating apps in terms of that is you never have to see this person again.
Right.
You're not connected to them in any way. They don't know anyone you know. Like you're never going to see them again. So it doesn't matter. Right. Whereas sometimes when it's like a friend of a friend, you're like,
Right. I know that is the tricky thing about dating.
Right.
It's just like, who are these people you're meeting? And that's kind of the nice thing about the dating apps is that these are just strangers.
Yeah.
You know, so
sayonara. Yeah. So
that's the only scary thing about dating in a town this size, though.
Yeah.
Is that
but
the likelihood of seeing these people again.
I never did.
No.
No.
That's reassuring.
Yeah. So I had, a handful of dates the first time, and then I actually met somebody kind of quickly. And he was in Columbus, which was, it's about 45 minutes from here. And I dated him for about a year, didn't pan out, fine. And then got back on the apps maybe about 6 months after we ended things and met a guy that I kind of dated off and on for a couple of months, knew it wasn't anything serious, but nice guy. We had fun, whatever. And then met my husband.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
In terms of how many people you had to go through.
Yeah, it wasn't that many. I mean, aside from my husband and the 2 other guys that I dated, I maybe went on 15 to 20 dates. I would say crazy. Half of them were fine, where it was a perfectly nice guy. It just wasn't,
love connection.
Wasn't a love connection, as they say. And the other half just wasn't into it. And maybe 2 or 3 of them I got a weird vibe from.
Yeah. Were there any just like horrible dates?
Yeah. In terms of like it just so awkward and painstaking, yes. Not to where I didn't have anyone that was like rude or thankfully I didn't have anyone that was hammered, but there were definitely a few very awkward ones. So, I mean, yeah, you're going to probably have to kiss some frogs, metaphorically.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I'm prepared for that. Honestly, I feel like that's just how dating goes.
Yeah.
Like that's.
But I will say, my husband and I occasionally will talk about this. He had messaged me and I was like, oh, this guy's cute. He seems nice. He lives here. His message was cute, whatever he sent. I can't remember. I think, and he did. He sent something that pertained to something in my profile, which I feel like is important. It means he read it. He looked at it. He was
thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we messaged a few times and I was interested. And then, the next day comes, I have this influx of new messages. And I think we had maybe said like, oh, we should meet for a date. And I was like, oh, that would be great. And then, this influx of new messages comes and he honestly got lost in the shuffle. And then he reached back out to me maybe like 2 weeks later and was like, hey, just checking in. You know, we said we were going to meet, but we didn't set the details. And I was like, oh man, I forgot about this guy. And I was like, yeah. And so I was like, yes, I would love to. And then I just gave him my phone number. Yes. Once you kind of feel comfortable, you know, some guys I gave my phone number, some we set the date up through Match. It just depended on how I felt. So I did give him my phone number and he called me immediately.
Oh, nice.
And we set up the date and then the rest is history. But yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, so that's one way, just an example of how it can be different because if he hadn't reached back out to me, that would have been it.
Yeah.
And to think that I could have not met my husband because he, you know, was proactive about it. But
yeah. Because I'm sure that's like not an easy thing to do. And I bet a lot of guys don't do that.
Right. Because they think it's like, oh, she just said that, but she didn't really mean it. Or
I mean, that's how I would feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a big advocate for them. I think it's a great way to meet people. Again, like I said, my personal preference is not to get too involved before you meet the person, but everybody's different. Mm-hmm. And I just think it wasn't until I got on there that I was like, all of these guys live in my town?
Right.
What?
Well, and that's the thing. I always have this assumption, like, well, everyone in Bloomington's married.
Or a college student.
Yeah.
Because it's a college town.
So, like, the pool is so small. Like, I don't know. I'm never going to meet these people. I don't want to meet anybody at a bar. You know, I'm not going out and drinking and meeting somebody at a bar.
Right.
Like,
We're just past that. Yeah.
So it's like, well, what do
you do?
Where do you find these people? Yeah. So
this is where.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay,
so you chose Hinge.
Yes. Hinge relationships are in the like tagline of the company. Like finding relationships for people. So I feel like, you know, that's kind of like already setting the precedent that like people on this app are
looking for relationships. Yeah. It's not Tinder.
Right. Okay. What is your dating intention?
Ooh.
I'm going to say life partner and long-term relationship.
Oh, you can only choose one?
You can only choose one? Oh, no. I feel like his life partner to like, I feel like that sounds a little.
Here's the thing.
It says you can share more words about what you're looking for. Long-term relationship with the potential of a life partner.
Yes, I think so.
I'm looking for a long-term relationship with the potential for a life partner.
Perfect.
What type of relationship are you looking for? Monogamy. I am not doing.
You're not polyamorous?
No, yeah. I'm not poly. Sorry. How tall are you? I'm 5'2". I'm not ashamed to admit it. Yeah. Well, 5'2.5", but there's no half option. And they don't let you add more words to describe your height.
Excuse me. I'd like to add my half inch. Thank you.
What is your ethnicity? Where is white? White Caucasian. There we go. Do you have children? Don't have children. It's interesting, though, that prefer not to say is an option.
Yeah, I know. I would imagine that's a privacy thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
What are your family plans? I'm open to children.
Yes.
I will say that.
What is your job title?
Graphic designer. Okay. Where did you go to school? Indiana University. You guys are learning so much about me on this too. What are your religious beliefs? Oh. Am I agnostic? I never really know.
I feel like agnostic is more
I don't know,
yeah. And I'm okay not knowing.
Yeah, which it is. And that is really true how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, I think prefer not to say is fine.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your political beliefs? I'm going to say liberal. I prefer to say because I don't want any fucking
I was going to say, what, is that a non-negotiable?
Yeah,
somebody,
kind of.
Yeah, somebody that's super conservative. It depends on what they're conservative about.
Yeah, and it depends on, how strictly conservative and, honestly, no Trumpers. Sorry. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay saying that.
Yeah.
Do you drink sometimes? Do you smoke tobacco? No. Do you smoke weed?
No, you don't.
I mean, I don't, but do I want to say no, or do I just want to say, no, I don't. Do you use
But you
drugs?
don't care if somebody does.
No. Yeah. Show out the person behind the profile with pics, videos, and prompts.
Okay, here we go. And because here's another thing I will say. People do not look like their pictures. Here is a word to the wise. If you are getting on dating apps, have your friends, have your mom, have whoever, look at the photographs you're choosing and just say, hey, I just do these photographs represent what I look like? Because here's the thing. I know we shouldn't be so wrapped up in looks and all of that, but we would not be being honest if we said it didn't matter. And you cannot take the best photograph that has ever been taken of you, and that's the only one you put on there. You just can't do that. You need multiple photos. You need full body photos, and they need to look like you. Because that was one of the situations I feel like I ran into where the guy would have one picture. Oftentimes it wasn't a good quality photo. It was like grainy, or it would just like wasn't the best. And I'll say 10 years ago, pictures that you put online weren't the quality that we have now. And that's just that. But it would be one photograph, you know, and oftentimes they wouldn't look like their picture. And sometimes it mattered, sometimes it didn't, and that might be shallow, that might be whatever, but it needs to look like you.
Yeah. What about one of these? I want to do one with my dogs.
Yeah.
You know, I have a dog.
I like that one.
That one? Like that and that one? Is that one a little too like...
That one's a little too like
seductive?
you're sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's the best.
Okay.
And it looks like you.
Full body is going to be tough because... Also, this is one, like, I feel like it's good to have pictures of you with
friends.
other people,
what
right?
What about that one?
Yeah, how about this one?
Oh, yeah.
And I want to do one where I'm like out doing something.
Right. Do you want to do one of the podcast photos?
Yeah, those are good. I was trying to think if I should crop
me out. Or is it weird to
small.
have it just you? What about one from the wedding? Yeah. That looks like you. I think you should do smiling instead of your face.
What about this one? Do you like that one?
Yeah. Yeah. Either one of those I think is good. Really, any of these three.
Okay.
Just not that one. Because you don't make that face. I know you like it, but you're not walking around with that face.
It's not your face. I also like this one. Is that one fun? Or is that one too? No.
I don't want that one of me out there. Thank you.
And then
you need one of like you stand like your full view.
What about me in my painter's outfit?
Yeah. I can't see it very well.
Or
You could just do them all.
Well, you can only select up to 6.
Oh.
We have 6 now. So which one do you think they'll see first?
It should tell you.
I want them to see that one first.
Perfect. Okay, so just to give some context, we've got about 3 kind of just headshots.
Yeah.
And then there's a more like full body shot of the two of us. And then a full body shot of you in your ski gear on the mountain. And then what was the other one? Oh, what was the other one? Just you and I was counting that as a headshot. And then there's just one of me and you at a basketball game. That's just kind of
Cool. Okay.
And it only lets you do 6 pictures. So here's the advice. Do 6 pictures.
Do you think I need to have one with like more people than just you and I?
How far back do you have to go to get that?
Pretty far. That's the thing. I only have pictures of like...
I think that's fine.
Well, no, we have one at the concert at the Humphrey show.
Oh, yeah.
Should we do that?
Let's do that
like
instead of the
I'm
basketball
fun.
one.
Yeah, I'm fun. I like to have fun.
Okay, let's go back. We have no idea how to go back.
Oh, no. How do I go back, though?
Excuse us. We need to go back.
Oh, okay. Maybe we have to do all of it and then have to go.
Yeah, then we'll have to go back. Okay.
All right. Write your profile answer, select a prompt, and write your answer.
Oh, God. Here are the prompts. Okay.
This would be easy. The way to win me over is to make me laugh.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good one? Guys are going to be in my DMs with jokes and it's going to be horrible.
Yeah. But maybe you'll find a good one.
I mean, is that simple enough? Or is that too simple?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. And here's the other thing. I don't think you need to go too in depth.
Yeah.
On your profile.
See, that's I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like then I don't want to write a novel about myself.
No.
Like, here are some tidbits.
Yeah.
Does that intrigue you? Then we can meet and you can
Exactly.
get to know me.
Yeah. I don't think you need to be too crazy. I would do 3 of these and then let it lie. These the only options?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to read all the options for the people. Okay, dating me is like my simple pleasures. The way to win me over is, which you did to make me laugh. Unusual skills. I go crazy for. My most irrational fear. A random fact I love is. A life goal of mine. This year I really want to. Typical Sunday. My greatest strength. I recently discovered that. And those are the only choices.
I feel like typical Sunday's a good one.
Yeah, I think so.
But I have a couple typical Sundays.
I know, because sometimes we podcast on Sundays.
Well, and like sometimes I just want to chill and rot.
Right.
And like I could say that in a nice way.
Yeah.
Like Sundays are for chilling, making food, taking my dog for a walk,
Yeah.
getting outside.
Yeah.
Does that sound...
Yeah.
Can I say all those things?
Yeah.
Okay, does this sound stupid? Mostly for relaxing, hanging around all day. I'm going to say mostly for relaxing around my apartment. Cooking food and getting outside, which usually means taking my dog somewhere to hike around.
Perfect.
Great. Okay, third prompt.
Okay.
I go crazy for
That's dumb. Don't do that.
orgasms.
If you're not good in that department, that's a non-negotiable.
I go crazy for a random fact. Unusual skill. I mean,
What's your unusual skill?
I can paint letters really good. Sign painting, lettering. I don't know. It's kind of dorky though. This year I really want to.
That's a good one, I feel like.
This year I really want to.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Get out of town. That's really what I want to say. Get
Yeah.
out of town and travel more.
Perfect.
Get out of town and explore more.
Perfect.
Add a voice prompt to your profile. No way.
Why?
That is so scary. Play sample answer.
No.
Should I do it?
It's creepy. I don't like it.
I don't want to do it.
No.
We're going to skip that one. Let's get to know you in your own words. First, we want to learn
Wait,
about...
are we not doing this year I really want to?
I did it already.
Okay, so you said this year I really want to get out of town and explore more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, first
You were fast.
Quick. First, we want to learn about who you're looking for. Your answers help us give you a better Hinge experience, including the recommendations we show you. These answers will not be displayed on your profile.
Perfect.
Okay. What qualities are you looking for in a partner? I'm looking for someone responsible and kind, open-minded and willing to, and interested in learning new things, interested in learning and experiencing new things.
Someone who's a good communicator?
Yes. Good at
And emotionally
communication
intelligent.
and listening and emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Someone who is secure in who they are.
And someone who's looking for a
Or-
long-term
and
partner.
knows what they are looking for.
Yeah.
A big plus would be
This motherfucker needs to be funny.
someone with a great sense of humor and loves to eat, maybe even cook, but must be willing to try new food. Must not be a picky eater.
Yeah. We don't want any picky eaters.
No. Red flags. Okay, what other qualities am I looking for? Is
Why
that
don't you
too
put your
vague?
age bracket in there?
Yes. Okay.
I would just put 35 to 55. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause you're probably not going to go older
No, I'm
than
not
55.
going 55. No.
You're probably not going older than 55.
Preferably with no kids, but I'm open.
Creative.
Yeah, creative and must have interests.
Yeah.
You know, I want somebody who likes to do things. It isn't
Right.
just like, what do you do with your time? I play video games.
You don't want somebody who can't answer the question, what do you do for fun?
Right, exactly. Even though I struggle, but
Yeah.
okay. So the prompt is, what qualities are you looking for in a partner? This won't be on my profile, but it's what their information they're going to use to connect me to people. And I wrote, I'm looking for someone responsible and kind, open-minded and interested in learning and experiencing new things. Good at communication and listening, and emotionally intelligent. Someone who is secure in who they are and knows what they are looking for. I like this person to have interests, and if they are creative, that is a plus. Someone with a great sense of humor and loves to eat, maybe even cook, but must not be a picky eater. I'm looking to date someone 35 to 55 years of age, preferably with no kids, but it's not a deal breaker. Must live in Bloomington.
Perfect. We love.
Next.
Where are you?
We want to learn more about who you are so we can give more details when we introduce you to other people. Okay, yeah, great. Next. What are your hobbies or interests?
So are these going to be on your profile? Didn't say, did it?
No, I think these are a continuation of ones that won't be on my profile.
Okay.
Well,
it's not super clear, but.
No. And you can't go backwards.
Yeah, you can't go back in this app. Like, what is that about?
I mean, I assume you'll be able to review at the end.
Yeah, I'm sure. And like edit it at any time, but still.
Okay, focus on what you're into instead of who you are as a person. We'll get to that next.
Okay. So like, what do you like to do?
Okay. I'm creative. I like to paint, draw. I'm learning to play guitar. I love to...
I would say you're active and you enjoy working out.
Yeah. I want to say I love to eat. Like I like to go out to eat new foods.
Do you just say you're a foodie?
No, I don't like the word foodie.
I know, I don't either.
I love to eat. Who doesn't? I love to eat and try new foods. Getting more into cooking too. I'm active. I work out at a gym.
And enjoy being outside?
Regularly, yeah. And enjoy...
Outdoor activities?
Outdoor activities. I enjoy traveling even if it's just weekend or day trips.
Yeah, perfect.
What else do I like to do? I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Music. You like music? Enjoy live music?
I really enjoy live music.
As long as it doesn't keep me out past a certain time on a weekday. Comedy. Oh my God.
Yes. I got to put that up.
Yeah.
More towards the top. I feel like that's a good amount.
Yeah, I think I would put something in there about I also enjoy downtime, like just relaxing on the couch, really watching shows. Yeah, like something like that.
Enjoy a night in, relaxing, watching movies, reading. I don't know, is it lame to put reading?
Yeah. Unless you're doing it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I'm an avid reader.
Yeah. I enjoy TED Talks and reading, basic math,
algorithms. Okay, what are your hobbies and interests? I'm creative. I like to paint and draw, and I'm especially into lettering. I'm learning to play guitar. I love to eat and try new foods. I enjoy trying new restaurants, and I'm getting more into cooking at home also. I love stand-up comedy, especially going to live comedy shows. I'm active. I work out at a gym regularly and enjoy outdoor activities like hiking, paddleboarding, or even just casual walks. I have a dog that I spend a lot of time with, especially outside. I enjoy traveling, even if it's just a weekend or day trip. I listen to a lot of podcasts and music. I really enjoy live music and try to go to concerts as often as possible. I also really enjoy a night in relaxing and watching movies.
Perfect.
Okay, here's one for you. How would your friends describe you to a stranger? Share as much as you're comfortable with so Hinge can have a complete picture of you.
Ooh, okay. I would say you're funny. Would it be funny to just say, like, my friend is here and this is what she's saying?
Right.
I would say you're funny. Quirky.
Oh, no, I'm quirky.
You are a little bit. Kind. Okay.
Quirky. Oh, no.
You don't have to put that.
I'm not putting quirky. Sorry. I feel like that would be a deal breaker for a lot of people. No quirkies. Okay.
I don't want somebody who's quirky. I mean, yeah, I would say funny, kind, creative, outgoing. I would say like can make the best of any situation. I would say like you're pretty laid back. You're not like as high strung as I am.
Like positive?
Yeah. I would say like you're just always down to like have a good time and have fun.
Saying, how else can I say? Can I say always down to have a good time?
Yeah.
So, my friends describe me as funny, kind, creative, and outgoing. Many tell me I'm laid back and can make the best out of any situation. Positive minded. I'm always down to have a good time and find some fun.
Yeah, I think so. And then there's just something about like you have like such a sweet, kind nature. Like you're just, you know what I mean? I don't like, how do you say that?
My best friend tells me I have a sweet, kind nature.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like, because you're just like a nicer person than me. And I feel like that's like one of your best qualities. Like, what's the best way to describe that? Let me think about it.
Okay. Thanks for sharing as much about yourself. You can make edits to your responses anytime from edit profile. Okay. Subscribers go on 3 times as many dates. Enhance recommendations. Skip the line.
Oh, they want you to pay for it is what they're saying? Like
yeah,
the pay.
maybe later.
Yeah.
All done. Let's see who catches your eye.
Oh, we're done?
We're done?
Okay, so now we're going to look at people?
Start sending likes. But wait, I want to look at my profile. I don't like how this is progressing.
Yeah, it's not letting you like... Okay, so now click on your... Yeah.
Oh my God, am I out there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this mom. That's smart.
Yeah, that's sweet. He's cute. Okay. Oh, you got to verify yourself. You got to take a selfie of yourself to verify that
right?
that you're real. William liked you.
Okay, William, you need to chill.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
There, it's doing it. This is like kind of difficult. Yay! Perfect. Okay, now, William, we'll look at you in a minute. We're trying to...
Congrats, you're verified.
Okay, got it.
Damn, I'm getting likes like crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, just wait. You're going to be like...
That'd be great for myself.
Yeah, it's going to be overwhelming, but it's fun. Let's look at the people.
Okay.
What do we got?
Okay.
Catholic?
Memphis, Tennessee. Is that where he lives or is that where he's from? Newburgh. Where the fuck is Newburgh?
I don't know.
Okay, no. Oh, is this him still?
I guess. Yeah, must be because his name is at the top.
Oh, so that's him up there.
That's him? Okay.
No.
No. Okay, next. Nope.
No.
Bye.
Pineapples go on pizza. So I was like reading about different sites and a woman wrote an article about like if you put that pineapple on pizza is good as your interest, you're an immediate no. Yeah. And it's true. It's like what are the lamest things that people always put on their pages? And one of them was pineapple on pizza. Like get over it, dude. No. How do I tell people
if he liked you? It said right there. Liked your photo.
Oh, got it. No. No. Ew. No. Why would you put that on there?
Because he's into it and he wants somebody else that's into it.
Oh, God.
That's it for now.
Well, that was not a very encouraging start, but I am...
It's day one.
Yes, it's day one, 30 seconds in. So
yes.
It's fine. Okay. Do you want to do dating stories?
Yeah. So we also thought for this episode, since we're talking about dating, it would be fun to like bring some of our funniest dating stories.
I mean, I don't really have that many, honestly, because I haven't really dated that much.
Okay. Well, I have 2 pretty good ones.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is actually a Match.com story. I matched with this guy. We went on a date. I can't remember what we did for our first date. We met out somewhere. And it was a pretty decent date. We seemed like we had some stuff in common. And we knew some people in common. And one of the people that we knew in common, he had said something about that person being one of his clients and that he did some kind of like consulting work in like tech. I can't remember exactly what he said. It's been a long time ago now. It's probably been 15 years ago almost. And we ended up going on a second date at his house. I felt comfortable going to his house because he's a local guy and we knew some of the same people. And He seemed like he wasn't a serial killer. So I went to his house. He made some kind of food. We hung out, talked. Like, the date was fine. There just, like, wasn't a ton of chemistry. So we ended up, I think we messaged a little bit, and then we ended up not seeing each other again. This is the funny part. So a couple years later, I started a new job, and I was working in this building in Bloomington that has, like, a bunch of different retail spaces in it. And the building throws a Christmas party for the tenants of the building every year. So this particular year, I went up to the Christmas party with a coworker of mine, and we hit the little buffet, made our plates. And as we're walking to the table, I see this guy sitting at the table with my other coworker. I'm like, oh, that guy kind of looks familiar. And then I was like, oh my God, it's the guy I went on those couple of dates with. So we sit down, and he has this kind of look on his face that's like surprise and almost like kind of like an oh shit look. And I'm like, why does he look like that? Like, I know we went, but like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it was fine, you know? So I sit down, and we all get to talking, and my coworker that was already sitting at the table introduces me and is like, oh, hey, no, we'll say his name's John. This is John. I was like, oh yeah, we know each other. And he's like, yeah, John manages the store next door. So there's a clothing store next to where we worked. And he's like, yeah, he's the manager there. And I was like, how long have you been working there? And he said 4 years. And that's when I realized
he was lying.
He had lied to me about his job.
That's so weird.
And I think that's why he kind of had that look on his face of like,
oh shit.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
Isn't that the strangest thing?
Yeah, like why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Lie?
It was really strange. So it was definitely a very like uncomfortable interaction because he said that. He said, this is John, you know, he manages the store next door. And I kind of got it in my head like, well, he told me he did this other thing. And I'm like, well, maybe he hasn't worked there that long, which is why I said, oh, how long have you worked there? And that's when he had to say, oh, about 4 years, because obviously my coworker, I think, probably knew how long he'd been working there because he obviously knew him from them working in the building together.
How strange. Yeah, that's weird because it's like if you're going to lie about that, what else?
Right, because then, well, and also it's like, what happens if you hit it off with somebody?
Right.
And then what do you do?
Yeah.
Such a strange thing. And it would be different if like the way the interaction went, I could tell that it had just been made up, because it would be different, I guess, if maybe it was some kind of like job he did on the side. But it's like, why would you not just say that? Like, oh, I manage a clothing shop, but then I do this, this, and this.
Right. And it's like, why is that's nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, no jobs are embarrassing, but it's not like it's an embarrassing job.
Right. I don't know. It was really strange. But then I ended up like seeing him all the time after that.
It's so awkward.
Yeah. It was a little strange.
Yeah. I wonder if that was like a regular thing for him.
I don't know. I don't know.
How bizarre.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's so funny is like, it's scary about the online dating things. Like, you never really know who anybody is.
No.
Yeah. It's just kind of like.
And by all accounts, he's just like a regular, normal guy.
Yeah.
And by the time.
Like, told a weird lie for
some reason. And by the time, you know, I met him the second time and this whole thing unfolded, you know, he was engaged. He had met somebody. And I'm like, well, he obviously told her the truth about his job, or he probably wouldn't be engaged to her.
Right. Huh. People are strange.
People are strange.
It's so weird.
Okay, so you go with one and then I'll tell my second one.
I honestly don't have a bad...
You don't have any?
I mean, I haven't been on that many dates, honestly.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could think of was a good experience.
Well, that's fine. It doesn't have to be...
This, it's the guy who died, actually.
Oh, the guy that I met?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I dated this guy in New Orleans briefly. He ended up passing away years later of an aneurysm, which is scary because he told me when we dated
that he knew he had it.
I have this thing. It's like a small % chance that it's fatal at some point, and it was.
Yeah.
The story is, though, that it was the best dinner he made me dinner.
Yeah.
And he went all out, prosciutto and melon.
Nice.
And then he made a gazpacho soup.
Very nice.
With edible flowers in it. And then like roasted something, I can't remember. And I remember he just whipped this all up at his house. And like had like this perfectly set table and stuff. And I was like, dang. It was a really great dinner, but ended up not really going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, we had that great dinner too because
oh my gosh, yes, he worked at this restaurant. It was in the W Hotel, downtown. Sobu, yeah. Sobu.
Was it Sobu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the best meals I've ever had. It's the only time I've had real bluefin tuna because I remember we came in and he was like, oh, you guys picked a good day because we got the bluefin tuna. And he really just hooked it up. I mean, they just brought out like kind of course after course. We did order entrees, but he just brought stuff out. We had that bluefin tuna with like the caviar in that little like ice cream cone. And it had like avocado ice cream. Like it was fantastic.
Yeah, he really laid it on that night.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy.
It's too bad that what happened. That's scary.
Yeah, very scary.
Do you ever find out how he knew? I always wonder how people know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because most of the time you don't know.
Right.
You have to have like an MRI or some kind of scan.
I want to say he told me it was something like he went in for something else and they found this thing.
Okay, yeah.
And they were like, this is the situation. Yeah. But yeah, pretty tragic. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
My bad experiences, I feel like I can't really talk about on here because they're like not dates. But yeah, like honestly, that's the thing that I'm kind of excited about. The dating apps, though.
Oh, that you're doing it for the plot?
No.
I need a good story.
No, but going on actual dates with people, as opposed to just like meeting people out and like.
Yes, it's very different from our experience in our 20s.
Right, and then you just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
There's no like going out and getting to know each other. It's just like we go out and like get drunk together.
Right.
At social gatherings.
And then you like hope you run into them out. And
you just like come over and hang out at each other's houses.
Right.
And like that was a lot of my dating experience.
Right. Yeah, it was very different then.
Yeah. And the true dates I have been on really have been not bad. I haven't had any like, really bad ones. So
okay, well this one is not so much like a dating story. It's more of like a hangout that went very wrong.
Okay.
So I was bartending. And one of the people that worked in the bar that we worked at was also one of the coaches for the rugby team. And they were having some kind of like tournament or whatever. I don't know that much about rugby. But one of the players had a friend visiting from the UK. I can't remember what part of England he was from, but they were all in the bar hanging out after the game, and I kind of hit it off with this guy who was visiting his friend, and they were staying at his fraternity. And we're talking, and we're having a good time, and they were going to a house party at one of the rugby players' houses, and this is the thing, I cannot remember the guy's name that I was hanging out with, but he was like, hey, you should come when you get off work, like meet us at the party. And I was like, okay, because I knew the guy that worked in our bar and he was the coach, and so I felt comfortable going over there, and it was actually really close to the bar the house party was. So I get off work and we exchange phone numbers, me and this guy. So I go to the house and they're all partying, the whole like rugby team is there. At that point, the guy that we worked with had left the party. He was a little bit older, and I think he had kids, and so he probably just went and hung out for a little bit and then went home to his family. And it was very loud, and like it was kind of hard to talk. And so we ended up going outside and sitting on the stoop and talking for a little bit. And he was like, do you want to maybe like go hang out somewhere else? Like, I just feel like it's so chaotic here. And I was like, yeah. And we were so close to the bar that I worked at. He's like, do you want to just go back to the bar and hang out a little bit? I'm like, sure. So I wasn't drinking because I had driven to the party and I knew I was going to drive home, and I had been at work all day. And so we went back to the bar, and I did have one drink at the bar. I don't know. I mean, listen, he was fine when he was in the bar. And then when we were at the house party, I knew obviously he had been drinking. I had served him some drinks in the bar. I don't know how many drinks he'd had before that. I don't know how many drinks he had at the party. But as we were traveling from the house back to the bar, he was seemingly fine. Didn't appear to be like super intoxicated. We get back to the bar, we each have one drink, and the next thing I know, he's like completely hammered. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, okay, we need to wrap things up. I'm just gonna like take him back to the party. So he excuses himself to go in the bathroom. And even the guy that had taken over my shift, because we were sitting at the bar that I work at, he was like, what is going on with homeboy? Is he okay? And I was like, I don't know. He was fine, and now he's not. And he's
Wait,
like,
was this Yogi's?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, it was at Yogi's. And so he goes in the bathroom. He's in there forever. He's not coming out. At a certain point, I have to have someone go in and check on him.
Oh, no.
And they're like, I'm pretty sure he was throwing up.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, no. So finally.
That's why earlier you were like, when you said, at least he's not hammered. You've never been on a date where like they're hammered. And I was like, I wonder why she said that.
Right.
But this is why.
This is why. So he comes out of the bathroom. He's so intoxicated. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to take him back to the party. So I was like, I think I'll go ahead and take you back. Like, I got to get home. It's getting pretty late. He's like, yeah, no problem. So we get in my vehicle. I drive him back to the house. It's completely dark. There's no one outside. There's no music, no nothing. And I'm like, okay. And so that's where his friend was, right? So we walk up to the house. He's knocking. No one answers the door. So I think what happened is you know how it is in the college days. I think they were house partying, and then I think they all left and went to the bars.
Yeah.
So no one's answering the door. And he's like, okay, let me just call my friend. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, okay, I'll just drop him off wherever his friends are. So we get back in my vehicle. And guys, this is the days before. There's no Uber. We had a cab company. There's no smartphones. Right. These are just regular phones. There's no like plugging your phone in anywhere kind of thing. So we get into the car. He calls his friend several times. No answer. And I'm just like, oh my God. So finally the friend answers, and I'm like, thank God. And he's like, hey man, yada, yada, whatever. And he's like, oh, hey. He's like, dead. Goes dead.
His phone dies?
His phone dies.
No!
You guys, this is an Englishman in a foreign fucking country.
Oh, man.
With a dead phone. He has no idea where he is. I'm like, do you know your friend's phone number? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, do you have your phone charger? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't I just take you? Do you know where your friend lives? And he's like, well, it's his fraternity. And I was like, do you know which one it is? And he was like, no. He's like, and I don't even think I can get in because it's like
the code.
Probably, I think they have like a code. And I'm like, okay.
So we need your friend.
I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, I can't just be like, get out of my car and leave this guy in a foreign country on the porch of this house.
Right.
I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what do I do? I briefly thought about going back to the bar and calling the guy who's the coach. But again, this is an older guy. He has a family. Right. I'm like, I don't really, at this point, it was probably almost midnight. Right. I'm like, I don't want to call him at like midnight. I don't even know if he's going to know the friend that well or have his contact information. I mean, probably he would because he's on the rugby team. But like, so I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, okay, I guess I have to take this guy to my house.
I know. It's also, you're probably just like over it. Like, I don't want to spend any more time with this person. But.
Right. So I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I can't just leave him.
Right.
So I had to take him to my apartment. I remember just being like, okay, like, this isn't going to work. Whatever we were trying to do. I think what it was is we were able to get his phone charged, but then his friend wasn't answering.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I have to go to bed. At this point, it was like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to go to bed. And I just told him, I go, listen, just crash on the couch. We'll figure it out in the morning. So I go to bed. I lock my bedroom door. I wake up in the morning. I go out in the living room and he's gone.
He's gone.
And I'm like, oh no, is this guy just like wandering around the streets of Bloomington, like blacked out in a foreign country, like having no idea where he is? So I'm like, well, maybe I can try to like call him. And so I called his phone and I could hear it ringing. And I'm like, what?
He left his phone in your house?
No, he was passed out on the balcony of my apartment. I heard it ringing and like followed it. He was passed out on the balcony of the apartment. I wake him up. I'm like, hey. And he's like, what? And I was like, are you ready to go? And he was like, oh my God, what's going on? And I was like, can you call your friend? Finally, we were able to get a hold of the friend, and I dropped him off at the fraternity, and that was that. But
oh my gosh,
it was an interesting one. It was a night, and I'll tell you what. You know what he did?
What did he?
About 7 or 8 months later, he texted me and was like, hey, I'm coming back to visit. Do you want to hang out?
You're like, absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
You know
He
what?
had such a blast.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Everybody
He just had too much to drink.
He had too much to
We've
drink.
all been there.
And quite frankly, the friend should not have lost track of him, probably.
No.
They probably shouldn't have separated ways, him being in a foreign country and all.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked out. Nobody got murdered. Nobody got lost. Everybody
Yeah.
got back to England.
Well,
it was
he's lucky
good,
that you're nice and weren't just like, well, sorry, guy. Good luck.
I know.
Good luck
'cause-
to you.
Exactly. Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
Here's the porch. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Here's the 4 main bars of Bloomington.
I know.
You better go check them out and see if your friend's there.
I know. It was wild. It was definitely, it was a situation that I've never been in. I have not been in since. And
Yeah.
it was definitely made me rethink, like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's so funny. He texted you later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remember, we might have to cook this out, but remember when we found that guy passed out in the parking lot next to Nick's?
Yes. And we took him to
And
his
we were
hotel.
good Samaritans, and we picked him up and took him to
Yeah.
his hotel. He puked in my car.
He did puke in your car. And it was so funny because he was completely passed out in a parking lot. And
Just like in the middle of the parking lot.
oh, yeah.
Like, it was kind of scary. We were just like,
And
oh
this,
my God.
we're talking like he was our age and we
Yeah.
were not at the time. We were in our 20s and he was probably 35. He was an older guy because I'm pretty sure when we first like woke him up, we didn't intend on taking him anywhere. We were just going to try and get someone to come to him.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Well, it was like, who are these people in your phone? Let's just like call the most recent person you talked to. And I think it was his wife.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, don't call. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we really saved that guy's life in multiple ways.
Yeah. And again, this may have been questionable decision because it was a man and
Yeah, we
we
probably
were two
should-
women. Yeah. And we were like, we were able to get enough information out of him to figure out that he was staying at this hotel. And we were like, okay, we're going to drive you to this hotel and then it's on you to like
Yeah.
figure it out. And we did. And it was fine. He was just a normal guy, but yeah.
I feel like, was there something else when we got there? We were like, do you have your key?
Yeah.
Like, can you get in?
We weren't sure if he was going to be able to get
but
into
we were
his.
just like,
at that point, we were
So,
like,
yeah.
At that point, we were like,
We've
we
done
got
all
you
we can
here.
do.
Yeah. And whether or not you get arrested in the parking lot or at this hotel is
That's
neither
your
here nor
business.
there. Yeah, it's not our business
None
anymore.
of our business anymore. You really weren't any of our business
To
ever.
begin with. Yeah.
We got some karma points for that one.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did him a big favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he would have been in the drunk tank
Yeah.
otherwise. So you're welcome, wife.
Yeah.
We tried to call you. He wouldn't let us.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry I don't have many fun stories, but I will have a bunch, I'm sure, in the future.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see how long you stick with this until you feel pressured to do the pay.
Right.
Because there's a free version. We didn't mention this before. I don't think there's a free version, and then there's a version that you pay for. And I'm certain that you're not getting access to the people who pay for it.
Oh, I'm
having the free version.
Yeah.
And I will say that was one of the reasons why I chose Match. When I was doing it, there was Match.com, there was eHarmony, and there were a couple free ones. I think Plenty of Fish was one, and I can't remember what the other one was. And I remember thinking, for whatever reason, that people who were actually investing their money were probably more serious about meeting somebody for the reasons that I wanted to meet somebody.
Right. Yeah.
So
no, I feel like that's probably true.
Yeah.
You know, I'll start here. And then,
yeah. You want to
know.
see if you even like the way the app works and like how you interact with people first.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll probably also try Bumble.
Oh yeah. Bumble might be the other one that was around when I was doing it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I might as well get on a couple. I'm sure a lot of people, it's a lot of the same people. But
Right. But you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So,
It's just so funny thinking about like going back to like our 20s and thinking about, you know, we weren't, like we said before, like we weren't even really dating. You go out with your friends. And I do feel like there was always this kind of like excitement and expectation of like, ooh, am I going to meet somebody tonight?
Yeah.
Is there going to be somebody out? Like, and that's pretty much what dating was.
yeah, I know. Well, that's what I meant. But like, I haven't really been on that many dates because.
Right.
And even when I lived in New Orleans, I went on I started, you know, it's the older you get, I feel like the more true dating starts to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, you know, but, you know, I feel like decades past, you know, the 20s and 30s, courting was so different.
Yeah.
For even for young people.
Yeah.
You know, starting out, that's how it worked. But yeah, that is not how it was for us.
No, not at all.
And it was always like, I wouldn't meet that many people out that I didn't know through some connection. You know, you were always getting connected to people who you knew
through somebody else. Yeah.
Which is very comforting.
It is comforting. You know? And I do think it's what made things feel safe.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, of course, were there times where we probably went someplace with actual strangers? Occasionally, I suppose. Yeah. But for the most part, it was like you went out with your group of friends and somebody from your group of friends went out with their other group of friends that you maybe knew a couple people. You all met up out and it's like, oh, this is their other group of friends, and you knew. Right. Yeah. And so it was always.
It seemed like more trustworthy that way.
Yeah,
you absolutely. Know? Like, oh, well, these people spend time with them, so they must not be a total piece of shit.
Right. Or a serial killer. Yeah. Absolutely. And we were all just like, you knew they were local too. Like, it's like they live here and they were probably roommates with somebody you knew. And
right.
Yeah, it was just different. And I do feel like, I will say, one thing that's really, really nice about finding your person, and I think we've all experienced this, and like you've experienced this even though you haven't found the one, but anytime you're like, you find somebody and you end up in a relationship with somebody, it is so nice then, and we're past this part of our lives, but like at that time of our lives when you would go out and you didn't have that expectation and you could just like go out and have fun because you like weren't on the prowl, so to speak.
Oh, I know.
And there wasn't going to be any disappointment.
Yeah.
When like nothing came to fruition or you didn't meet somebody or there was no connection made.
Right. You could just
enjoy
really
yourself.
Be present and enjoy your time. I remember when that used to be.
That was the goal.
You were always trying for that to happen.
Right.
You know?
And not that we weren't like, not that like our friendships didn't like come first and like that we didn't like weren't like focused on having a good time with each other. We always were. But yeah, there was always that expectation or that hope of like, I want to meet somebody. I want to have a connection with somebody.
You're trying to flirt.
You're trying to hook up, whatever. And like that was always like right there.
Yeah.
You know, infiltrating every hang,
if you were single.
Yeah. And it's really nice to let go of that.
Yeah, for sure.
And like even now at our age, like I'm sure being single, it might still be in the back of your mind when you go somewhere.
It's
like
not though. Like,
it's not.
When I go out, I'm not like, ooh, I hope I can find me a man. Like I really don't. Like if something happens, great, but that's really just not.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I'm still single. When I go out, I'm just doing whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, I think your priorities just shift in terms of that as you get older. And that's not why you're going out anymore, which it was almost like why some of the time. I mean, a lot of the times it was just to spend time with our friends, but there were definitely times where I think it was like, we're going to go out and meet guys.
Oh, yeah. And I think vice versa for men.
Yeah, we're going out to meet girls. Yeah.
That is kind of.
Yeah, the point. Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely nice to let go of that. And it's nice, like, you know, no relationship is perfect. But when you do find your person, like, that's one of the best parts is putting.
Yeah, relax. Because I feel like you
putting that behind you.
It almost is like you can go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So
and I love being in a relationship.
Yeah,
I really am. Like, and that's what's so funny is because I have been single a lot of my life.
Yeah,
you know, because I am a very independent gal.
Yeah, you've always been. That's what we should have put on your profile. Yeah. Independent, but yeah, you've always been somebody who wasn't gonna let anyone else dictate your decisions that you made about your life. Yeah, you've always been that way.
I've also been the kind of person like, if I don't enjoy spending time with you, I'm not going to spend time with you just for the sake of being in a relationship. I've never understood that.
Yeah.
And I get that a lot of people are like that. And I understand it. And I can sympathize that some people like and need to have another person.
Some people really don't like to be alone.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just not like that.
Me neither.
I would much rather be by myself
than with somebody
having just an okay time.
Yeah.
You know
and we're both people that I feel like too need to be alone.
Yeah.
Where like I have to be by myself even if I really enjoy being with you.
Yeah.
I still, you know, my husband and I are that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously love each other and enjoy spending time together, but we both really value our alone time and like doing our own separate things. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why we work so well together, is because we allow each other that space and we don't get upset about it and we don't get jealous and we don't get
codependent.
We're not codependent. And
but I will say I love being in a relationship, and the relationships that I've been in, especially when they were in the really good parts, are, you know, some of the happiest times and what I would prefer.
Right.
You know, because I had found people to be with who, like you said, respected each other's times.
Right.
We made each other feel better when we were around.
Right.
So yeah, I do really want that again. I don't necessarily want to be single. I'm just fine when I am single.
And honestly,
you know what I mean? And that's where I get like that in a lot of things in my life. I can be complacent really easy.
Right.
Where just like that lamp has been sitting in the corner of my apartment for 6 weeks now, and I'm like, I should really do something about that, but I just forget that it's there.
Right.
You know, and like that's how I feel sometimes when I'm single, is like I'm good. I'm pretty happy, but I'm not. I know I don't want this forever.
Right.
You know, so.
But I also feel like that's such an important thing, and I think we've talked about this before too on another episode, where it's like, I think it was maybe the marriage episode, where that's it's a necessity. You need to be able to be okay and know that you can be happy, I think, on your own before you really can have a successful relationship with somebody else. And I think a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, you know, and I was so focused on that for a long time, but now I've gotten to the point like, yeah.
You're like, I did it. Yeah. I proved that.
I think I've said this before on the podcast that like, yeah, I know I'm good by myself.
Right.
I can do it, but is it what I really want?
Right.
No. So
right. Exactly. And maybe I'm better even with somebody else.
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I got a lot
and there's that's totally fine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we thrive on connection and companionship. Like that's And I do think like we provide a lot of that for each other too.
Oh, sure.
You know, and
again, another thing we talk a lot about is like romantic relationships aren't the only kind of relationship you need to fill your love cup. You know?
Exactly. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Really do need. I feel like friendships are almost as equal as romantic relationships as
in terms of importance. And absolutely, I think so too. Yeah, and so I will be interested to see how much I get cut off when she meets somebody. Wink, wink.
Well, no.
No,
that won't happen.
I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it might a little bit.
It will a little bit at first, which I'm fully.
That's what always happens.
That's what happens when you're in the honeymoon phase and like you just want to like be together. Like I fully expect to spend a little bit less time. I'm going to let you have about 8 weeks, and then I'm going to be like, knock, knock, knock. Hello, I'm here.
Well, hopefully, I would love to find a relationship with somebody who wants to do things together.
I would love that
too.
Love
to spend time together with my friends, and
I would love that too. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's in store. I can't wait for you to start
going
out, meeting people.
I said I was a little nervous, but I'm mostly excited.
It's like excited nervous.
Yeah.
Because they can go hand in hand, of course.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, an excited nervous as opposed to like I'm sure there's like a teeny tiny bit of fear, nervous there, but mostly excited.
It mostly just feels good to feel like I am taking control of my life,
manifest destiny,
as opposed to just being passive, which is how I can be a lot with a lot of things in my life, and I'm trying to be more proactive.
Yes.
So that I can, you know, achieve peak happiness.
That's right. It's like I can find contentedness.
So wish me luck. If you have any eligible bachelors, I mean,
send them her way. Yes, besties, listeners. Okay, let's get to some grapes and gripes and wrap this up.
Cool. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll do my gripe first. My gripe goes out to getting toothpaste on your shirt, especially when it's black. God. I mean, you just have to change your shirt. There's no getting it out.
It's like deodorant.
Isn't that frustrating? Because then you get it wet and it looks like it goes away, and then it dries and it comes back. It's like disappearing ink.
I feel like deodorant does that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you get it wet enough, you can get the deodorant out, but every once in a while it comes back as well.
Right. Or depending on what kind of rag you use, like it'll leave debris. And it's just like, ugh.
Oh, like little pills?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So I know. I got
don't use a paper towel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It'll leave like residue.
Yeah.
And you're like, God dang. So I got to work on that.
Take your shirt off when you brush your teeth.
Yeah,
I know.
And my grape goes out to Lady Gaga's new album.
Ooh, I haven't listened yet.
Good. I've never been like a diehard fan. She's had like songs I like in the past.
Yeah.
But
you introduced me to her.
yeah, I mean, she's great.
I,
she's
of course,
super
didn't know who
talented.
she was. This has been years ago, but
I've also never like, there's something about her that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
yeah.
But I do respect her as a musician a lot. I
Yeah.
think she's very talented and a really great performer. But her new album is good.
Is it? I need to listen.
And it's great to listen when you're working out.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like, it's got like a little bit of 80s kind of goth sound.
Nice,
almost,
yeah.
But it's still really pop and it's good. It's fun. Abra is like the hit track, but Disease is good and Zombie Boy. Check those out. They're so
Yes, will do.
awesome.
Okay. My gripe is going to, this is kind of niche, but when you're laying in bed and all the lights are off and you're watching something on your phone, maybe you're scrolling, maybe you're watching a show or even your computer, and there's like a fly or a gnat and it's drawn to the light of your screen.
No.
Have you had this? Yes. And it's like flying. You're like, damn it. And you have to like turn on the light and be like, I gotta get you. And
then it's gone.
And then it's gone. And you do that like several times till you finally are just like, I'm going to wait for it to land on the screen.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get it.
Yeah. Gnat. I've never had that with a fly.
Yeah. I suppose it's a gnat always, or like a very small, kind of fly.
It's that time of year too where they're just around.
It's me nuts. Yeah. I'm
Does
like,
it happen to you often?
well, I live in the country, so
Yeah.
like I think we just have more like bugs, but I would say like once every few months, yeah, I get one, and I'm just like, damn it. My grape is going to banana cream Olipop.
Oh, I saw your post.
You guys, it's insane.
It's so good.
10 out of 10. It's amazing.
I didn't think you like banana flavored things.
I don't typically, I'm not like a big banana flavored like candy person. And I feel like there really isn't that much. Like a runt, there's a banana runt, and like Laffy Taffy. And I'm just not like a big taffy pat.
Not a big taffy pappy?
I'm not a big taffy paffy person. Not a big Laffy Taffy or like runt type candy person anyway.
Yeah.
But I love banana popsicles.
Oh, me too. It's the best one. The root beer is money too, but it's hard.
They're hard to find.
Yeah.
Yes, and I feel like that's something very nostalgic for us.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they were a big thing when we were
The
kids.
24 flavor assorted popsicle pack.
Yeah.
A lot of times I had a penguin on it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and it was always like the off-brand, just like IGA brand or something.
IGA, yes. And you could, you had your assorted pack, but you also could just buy banana popsicles just by themselves.
But those are even harder to find. Those are and they were elite, but they were everywhere when we were kids. And then it's like, I don't know what happened. Like people's tastes changed. I don't know. They had yellow dye and like toxic I don't think many people like banana.
Is that
Which is crazy to me because I love banana flavored stuff. I love a banana Laffy Taffy. I love a banana runt. But I mean, you're right. There's not that many.
Many to be had. Yeah.
And I think the reason I like it so much, it's like Christmas. It's like I like it because it's
rare.
It's so I'm not exposed to it very much.
Right.
So it's like a treat.
But that's exactly what it tastes like, is a banana popsicle, and it was fabulous. And I didn't know it existed, and I got it at the East Side Blooming Foods, just a single can, and I was like, I'm gonna try this. And I will say the cream deterred me almost, and then I was like, I don't know if I'm into the cream part of it, but let's just try it. Oh my god,
was it
slaps?
You drank the whole thing? Like it wasn't too much by the end of it?
No, it wasn't too much by the end of it. I couldn't get enough.
I got it.
I couldn't get enough.
Give me more.
I was like, I'll take this intravenously, thank you.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to try.
It was delicious.
I tried a new drink at Blooming Foods because I've been trying to cut back on caffeine and drink less coffee, and they have a new iced tea, a peach iced tea, which I fucking love. Prebiotic peach iced tea.
I saw that. It's right next to the Olipops.
Yeah, only 3 grams of sugar.
I almost got one.
It was delicious.
I'm gonna have to try it.
It was good.
Yeah, it was right next to it.
It was almost too peachy.
Yeah.
It was a lot of flavor, but still good.
Nice. Yeah. I love this for us. This like not as horrible, like fun beverage era that we're in as a society.
There's so many now.
I'm really into
because
it.
It's so heartbreaking to when you start to pay more attention and you realize that like all of the delicious things you love to drink
are terrible for
horrible.
you.
Peach Snapple?
Oh
Awful.
my God, awful. I know. And there's something about like having a fun beverage that's just like,
yeah,
it's something to like look forward to. It really puts a little pep in your step.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Get yourself a banana cream lollipop.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And one more thing I have to mention before we sign off, and I meant to mention this when we were talking about our dating stuff, but we're done with the millennial breakup post. Can we stop that as millennials?
Yeah.
People are still doing it.
Just the cryptic posts on Facebook in general.
Yes, they're only on Facebook because only millennials and boomers are on Facebook. Maybe a little Gen X, but I feel like Gen X isn't really online at all. And they're only on Facebook, and you can still tell.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how cryptic you're being, we can tell. Yeah. This is a millennial breakup post. Please stop.
When you're being cryptic in a post that you made reference to in 10 posts before, it's like, quit being cryptic, because you've laid out all of the steps to this. We all know who you're talking about. We all know what you're referring to. You're trying to be cryptic, but you're failing because this is a legacy of posts.
Yes. And even if it's not, even if it's just one post, and even if you're just talking about, personal growth and new beginnings, we still know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's a breakup, and we know that, and we especially know that when it's suddenly just a photo of you.
We love you and support you, but stop with the boring posts.
Stop with the breakup posts and just reach out to us via text message, please. Thank you for joining us for the profile creation. And send your eligible bachelors Hollis's way. And we will definitely keep you updated as much as Hollis is comfortable sharing about the dating process. And we're going to take you along for as much of the journey as we can. I think.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for her.
Don't know what that is. Honestly, we'll see. All right, bye.